When the Second World War started, my husband was called up in the Air Force, and I was left with two little boys, one, the eldest 3, Alan, and Ken, 1. And I was so lonely that I took the bus and I went to my in-laws. And I stayed the night. That was on the Wednesday night. And while we were in bed, the siren went, and we didn't get up. We thought, oh, the all clear will go. Anyway, we got up, and it was a blessing for us that we did, because a landmine was dropped and a whole block of houses was demolished. Grandad was upstairs with Alan, and Grandma Sargent was shouting to him, "Come down with that child. His daddy will never forgive you if anything happens to him." So we got up and put our coats over our nighties, and we went into the service shelter that was built in the road. And Grandad Sargent had no slippers on. He walked right across all the glass and never got a cut in his feet at all. But when we went back the next morning to Grandma's house, the bed where I slept with the 2 children, the whole frame work of the window was on the bed that we'd slept in, and the glass was all over the place, all over the bedroom. So it was a good job that we did. It's a good job that otherwise we'd have been killed.
Was your husband in the RAF?
Was
your husband in the RAF?
Yeah. So when I wrote to the daddy and told them what had happened, he promised me that I would never go to Liverpool again and stay overnight at all, because he said if anything happens here in the country, it won't be as bad as the town.
Was Liverpool the most dangerous place in the war?
Well, to me it was then, because I couldn't get over it. The next morning, the eldest boy, Alan, was only 3, and he was very, very fair. And when I saw him next morning, it took me ages when we came home to our own home to get the splinters of glass out of his head. It was terrible. It was a terrible experience, so I never went back to Liverpool to stay.
Did you ever go into an Anderson shelter?
Did I ever go where, love?
Into an Anderson shelter?
No, never.
Never?
No. Because where we lived, do you know the field where we live?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, the men dug a passage, well, they were digging to put a shelter up, and they come across a passageway that was originally an old mill, and when they started digging, they came across this passage with it was lined with white tiles, glazed tiles, and we went in there because we knew we were safe. It had a big concrete top on it that the men did. They all worked on it. All the men they weren't called up then, they did it.
Did you ever see a bomb?
No, I didn't. I saw the craters that the bombs made, and when we used to hear them coming across our houses, and they used to circle around Christ Church because it was a very high point, and if they were chased with our planes, they used to drop their bombs on the Devil's Wall to get rid of the load. But not only that, Jasmine, we had to queue for everything. Vegetables, potatoes, bread, everything. You had to stand in the queue. And by the time you got to the queue, they were all gone. So you stood there in pouring rain for nothing, and I had Alan and your gangi in the big pram under the hood so they wouldn't get wet, trailing down to Holmesgate and trailing nothing.
Did you have a ration book during the war?
Did I have what?
A ration book.
Oh yes, we all had ration books.
Do you still have it now?
No. Some people kept them as souvenirs, but I was glad to get rid of them. I didn't want anything to remind me. And your great granddad, he was in the Air Force, and he was he used to look after the planes, and he was on a test flight, and he was on Sunderland flying boats, and he was on this test flight, and instead of landing on water, do you know what flying boats are like?
No.
Well, they've got floats on. Instead of the plane landing on water, it landed on ground, and some of Grandad's mates were killed, but he got away with a broken back. But he didn't know. They sent him home on sick leave, they called it, and he took the flu, and I said, well, you can't go back. He was on leave. I said, you're not in a fit state to go back. This is, Well, tell you what, Gary, we were standing outside the Regal, and we were going to Southport, taking the two boys to Southport, and I said to Grandad, I said, you're walking all lopsided. So,
oh, sorry.
It's okay, love. He said, yes, I know, my back's aching. He went to the college, that was for the Army and Navy and Air Force, and it was a hospital then, and he went there, reported sick, and he found that they x-rayed him and found he had 7th and 8th vertebrae bone broken, and he suffered with his back all that time. He got a war pension, and they said to him, it was not on money then, they said to him, would you like to have it weekly or have it in a lump sum? And no, the lump sum was £80.
Did you grow your own vegetables?
No, did we grow our own vegetables? No, love. No, we didn't. A lot of people did, and a lot of people brought hens, had hens in the back garden, so they could collect the eggs. But everything was rationed. Everything.
Did you wear a gas mask?
I never had the occasion to, but we always had to carry them round.
Were they heavy?
Not really, no, because they were in like a little cardboard box, and you just put them on your mouth like that.
And did you ever see anyone wearing a gas mask?
No, not really. Everybody carried them, but we never had to use them at all.
If you did you think it would be scary to see them in one?
No, not really, love. No. The babies used to have, like, it was a big one, baby, you couldn't carry that about. But a lot of people that had little babies used to put them on the bottom of the pram, so that if it was needed, they were there to be used.
Okay. Is that enough now?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that alright?
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Nan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I hope it did all right.